Nobody expected the night to take a turn like this. Not even the folks already keeping one eye on young Thug's roller coaster life. One moment, he's stepping out onto the carpet at the GQ Men of the Year event, looking calm, collected, almost like a man who wants a quiet night. And then, boom. All it took was one quick convo, one tiny slip, and the whole internet basically caught fire.
Doug, where's Mariah?
What did he do?
He had a show.
Y'all still rocking strong, you Mariah?
Of course. I love you album too. I just put a baby on. Hey, Doug.
Because when he was asked why Mariah the Scientist wasn't by his side, Thug didn't dodge, didn't finesse, didn't try to be mysterious. He just threw a spark into a room full of gasoline. He basically said he put a baby on her. Straight face, no hesitation, letting everybody do the math for themselves. And that's when everything stopped. Because if that's true, that means Mariah might be expecting around late summer. And the timing alone sent people into chaos.
Y'all, so I just seen the thing where it said that Mariah The Scientist is pregnant by Young Thug. I knew that shit was gonna happen. Girl, you slow as hell. He did that shit on purpose just to trap you. But now he's really gonna feel like, okay, she's gonna stay forever because we got a kid together. I hope it's fake. I hope that girl's not pregnant by him because that is a big mistake that she just made. Getting pregnant by him, having his 7th kid, being his 7th baby mama, you should have ran far the fuck away from that big tall star crunch. Dumb in love. Because I'm never finna be nobody's 7th baby mama. Especially not by no bumpy frog.
But the pregnancy isn't even the part that's sending fans into full meltdown mode. It's what it represents and what it exposes, especially considering how messy their entire timeline already is.
Mariah the Scientist pregnant. Young Thug did what? Bitch, this is the stupidest shit you done done all motherfucking year. And since you a motherfucking scientist, you can't make that motherfucker disappear? This nigga said baby mama. Like, what? Now, don't get me wrong, babies are a blessing, but I just feel like sometimes the people you know, like, this shit ain't forever, and she know that shit ain't forever. So why the fuck would you lay your stupid ass down? I really hope Mariah Jean's strong as fuck, because if it got anything to do with Young Thug looks, that's a ugly motherfucker. That's gonna be an ugly ass baby. And I don't even talk about people kids, but child, I'm just trying to figure out, did you even think it through? Like, I guess he had to get her pregnant because she already embarrassed for all the shit that he put her through on them damn jail calls, all the embarrassment, cheating on her and shit after getting out of jail. He had to put a baby through that bitch. She had to stay for some type of reason. This bitch, child, this is a lot. A lot. A whole bunch.
See, to understand the reaction, you gotta rewind a bit. The internet doesn't forget, and Mariah's fans, they've been side-eyeing this relationship for a long time. Because while Thug was sitting behind bars fighting that major RICO case, Mariah didn't walk away. She didn't distance herself. She didn't focus on her career. Sis held him down like a lifer's dream girl. Letters, visits, support, public loyalty. She was locked in with a man who was literally locked up. People were saying she was the definition of ride or die, and maybe that was admirable. Maybe it was heartbreaking, depending on who you ask. But then the unthinkable happened. Those jail calls leaked. Not some rumor, not some sneaky DM screenshot. Full audio recordings.
Mariah the Scientist. Is this real? Y'all, is this really real? Bro. Y'all, is this real? Like, bro, for real?
Mariah, I know damn well you is not that damn dumb. It's like she's in some psychosis or something. Fire-ass album, by the way. Still a psychosis. Wake up, sister.
And in those calls, Thug wasn't exactly sounding like a man in love. He wasn't praising her. He wasn't thanking her loyalty. He was doing the complete opposite, downplaying their relationship. Talking reckless, disrespecting her in ways that made even non-fans wince. Imagine sticking by someone through the darkest time of their life, only to find out they were making you look like a fool while you were fighting for them on the outside. It was humiliating, and the internet was not gentle about it. His fans laughed. Her fans cried. The neutral people just blinked and said, "Oh, she gonna leave him now." And for a second, it looked like she did, or he did. They announced, or insinuated, that they'd split. People said she finally woke up. People said she finally realized her worth. People said maybe this was her reset moment. But that break didn't last long. Next thing you know, they're right back together, walking around like none of that embarrassing stuff ever happened. No public apology, No deep conversation we heard about, no accountability, just vibes. Quiet reunion, silent reconciliation, sliding back into each other's lives like gravity. And now, just a few months later, Young Thug drops this pregnancy bombshell like it's casual. Yeah, the internet was never going to let that slide quietly. Because to fans, this isn't a cute love story. This is a cycle, a loop, a pattern. Mariah's supporters look at her like a girl who keeps choosing the fire even after getting burned. Someone dangerously in love, holding on to a fantasy while the reality keeps kicking her in the ribs. And if we're being honest, she's never really portrayed herself as someone who can walk away. Even during the breakup, she still looked detached. She still looked like she was waiting for him to blink first. Now add a baby into the mix, fans feel like the trap is sealed shut. Like she just signed herself up for a lifetime contract with a man who already has 6 kids with several different women, and a public habit of putting his partners through some type of emotional roller coaster. And don't forget, Mariah has already been stepping into the stepmom role. She's been around his kids, included in family events, smiling in group pics, being embraced by the children who didn't even come from her. She blended herself into his world, his chaos, his dynamic, long before a pregnancy rumor hit the air. But this is a whole different level. This is permanence. This is a tie you don't untie in a weekend. And fans are spiraling, screaming, dragging, panicking, not because pregnancy is bad, but because they genuinely believe she's walking straight into heartbreak with her eyes closed. Some think she got pregnant because of love. Some think it's trauma bonding. Some think she's trying to prove her loyalty. Some think he did it intentionally so she'll never leave. And some people, the harshest ones, are saying she's just not strong enough to let him go. Now, Thug already has several kids. He's no stranger to adding another name onto the baby mama list. But for Mariah, this isn't just about being the next one. She's a rising artist preparing for a major tour, an album rollout, a crucial career moment. And fans are worried this pregnancy will become another anchor, something that keeps her orbiting around Thug instead of flourishing on her own path. But in her mind, in her heart, she probably thinks she's building a family with the man she loves. She likely believes this is her moment, her future, her story. And maybe it is, but the internet isn't buying it. Not for a second. The response has been loud, messy, emotional. People calling her delusional, calling him manipulative, dragging the dynamic, saying she's about to learn the hard way. And meanwhile, Thug just casually dropped the news like it's nothing more than a fun fact on a Tuesday night. What this announcement really did was expose how divided the world is about these two. Because behind the jokes, behind the memes, behind the dragging, people are genuinely worried. Worried she'll get hurt. Worried he won't change. Worried she'll waste years. Worried she's confusing chaos for love. And whether people love her or not, that concern shows something deeper. Nobody believes she's ready for what comes next. The moment Young Thug hinted that he put a baby on Mariah, the internet didn't just react. It detonated. Within minutes, the timeline split into chaos. Fans weren't whispering. They weren't speculating quietly. They were shouting, typing in all caps, pacing in circles like their own cousin just made the worst decision of her life. Because to them, this wasn't just celebrity tea. This felt like watching someone run straight back into a burning building after you dragged them out the first time. People have been begging Mariah to leave this man from the moment those jail calls leaked. And not because they wanted to be messy, but because they watched a woman publicly humiliate herself for someone who didn't even defend her name when she wasn't in the room. They watched her loyalty get stepped on. They watched her dignity get dragged. They watched her support get taken for granted. So when Thug announced that pregnancy news like he was casually talking about the weather, fans took it personally. Because this wasn't the first time they've seen this movie, and it never ends well for the woman involved. From the outside, it looks like a pattern, a cycle, a loop Mariah keeps telling herself is love when it's really just a mix of chemistry, attachment, trauma bonding, and a man who knows she wouldn't dare walk away no matter what he does. And the timeline went feral because everybody remembers the moment Mariah went from a rising R&B star to a headline for all the wrong reasons. She was the girl visiting him during lockdown. The girl tweeting support during the RICO updates. The girl writing songs with his name in the subtext. The girl defending him while people begged her to be safe. She wasn't just a girlfriend, she was a soldier. And then the calls leaked. Him flirting with other women. Him downplaying the relationship. Him moving like a man who didn't care about what she was doing for him on the outside. That broke fans, embarrassed her, and exposed exactly what she was up against. So now, hearing he might have gotten her pregnant, people feel like they're watching history repeat itself. But worse, because a baby isn't a breakup. A baby is attachment. A baby is cement. A baby is the ultimate, I'm not going anywhere, and he knows it. And fans are loud about the fact that Thug already has a whole lineup of children with different women, and somehow each situation seems to follow the same messy formula. Love, chaos, heartbreak, distance, repeat. Mariah's supporters can see the storm brewing long before she does, because they've watched it happen with other women. But what really pushed fans over the edge were the reactions pouring in from random people who don't even listen to her music. Folks who don't know a single song still had something to say, because the situation is giving textbook heartbreak waiting to happen. People called her delusional, down bad, dangerously in love, too loyal to a fault, and even a scientist who doesn't do experiments on herself. Those weren't critiques. Those were interventions disguised as jokes. Social media turned into an unrequested therapy session, with strangers trying to warn her about a future she refuses to see. And the funniest part? Even the people dragging her still admitted the music is about to go crazy. Because heartbreak? That's Mariah's superpower. And the messier her love life gets, the better her pen seems to become. But the concern was real, especially from women who've been in similar situations. Those comments weren't clowning. They were confessions from people who wished they could go back and shake their younger selves before they got stuck in cycles they couldn't escape. You could feel the pain in those reactions. It wasn't just jokes. It was, "Girl, I've been there. Please don't do this to yourself. Wake up before you can't wake up anymore. Love shouldn't hurt this much before the baby even arrives." But the loudest reactions came from people who saw the power dynamic more clearly than Mariah probably ever has. They see a man who knows she will always choose him. They see a woman who has convinced herself this is destiny. They see a pattern of manipulation disguised as connection. And now, the baby just locks it in place. Some fans believe Thug did this on purpose, a way to secure her loyalty, to keep her attached, to prevent her from leaving again when things get ugly. Others think she wanted it, saw it as a sign of commitment, leaned into the fantasy of building a family with the man she's convinced is her soulmate. But everyone agrees on one thing. This pregnancy changes everything. You can't detach from a man like Thug easily. Not emotionally, not publicly, not with the world watching, not with years of mess already recorded. And now her future is tied to his decisions in a way she can't undo. Not with a tour, not with an album, not with a cute photo dump, not with a breakup post. A baby shifts the entire axis of her life. Even worse, people are saying she's about to experience the same heartbreak countless women before her did. Just louder, just bigger, just under brighter lights. But the real tragedy is this. Mariah thinks she can handle it. She thinks she knows what she signed up for. She thinks her loyalty will finally pay off. She thinks love will fix what life keeps breaking. She thinks she's the exception. She thinks this time will be different. And fans know it won't. They've watched too many women convince themselves the same thing. They've watched too many ride or die fantasies crash into reality. They've watched too many girls fall in love with potential instead of truth. But here's the wildest part. Even with the entire internet screaming warnings at her, Mariah doesn't care. Because she's not listening to fans. She's listening to her heart. And her heart is locked on Young Thug like a magnet she can't pull away from. Which means the world already knows how this story ends long before she does. And honestly, the moment that clip hit social media, Young Thug casually telling the camera, "I just put a baby on," it felt like the final spark dropped right on top of all the emotional gasoline this situation has been carrying for months. Because after everything Mariah's been through, after everything fans have watched her tolerate, this pregnancy rumor isn't just a headline, it's a turning point. A messy, chaotic, heart-tightening turning point. Because here's what makes this whole thing so tense. Mariah the Scientist didn't just date Young Thug, she gave up pieces of herself loving this man. We're talking the jail visits, the court appearances, the late-night crying sessions fans heard in her lyrics, the way she defended him when the world was ready to throw him away, the way she clung to him like he was her lifeline when his whole world was collapsing. She treated him like a soulmate. He treated her like a placeholder. But the moment those leaked jail calls came out earlier this year, the illusion broke. Violently. The public heard it in real time. Thug joking, dismissing her loyalty, allegedly cheating, downplaying what they had, acting like the girl holding him down didn't matter. Those recordings hit harder than any paparazzi photo ever could. It wasn't just, wow, he cheated. It was, wow, she loved him more than he ever loved her. And for Mariah, who built entire albums from her heartache, from her vulnerability, from the parts of herself she didn't show anyone else, that had to cut deep, so deep that even her own fans were begging her to run. Then Thug publicly ended it in September. Just tossed the relationship into the trash like it wasn't the thing keeping her together for 2 years. And everyone assumed Mariah would finally wake up. But love like hers, it doesn't die that easily. It doesn't leave when it's supposed to. So they got back together in silence. Quiet posts, low-key sightings. Faint hints, but nothing official. The kind of sneaky reunion people try to keep under the rug because they know the internet will drag them. And to be honest, they barely even had time to be back, because before fans could blink, thugs on a red carpet announcing pregnancy rumors like it's casual weather talk. What makes that even more wild is how quickly it overshadows everything. The jail calls it the disrespect, the cheating, the breakup, the sudden reconcile, all erased with one casual sentence. But fans didn't forget a thing. If anything, the pregnancy rumor made them angrier. Because they know Mariah, she's soft-hearted, romantic, attached to her idea of love. She already stepped into the role of stepmom to his kids. She posted them, baked for them, hung with them, supported them. She was already halfway living in that house emotionally. So if she's pregnant, this isn't oops surprise, this is attachment cemented. You could see the panic in fans' reactions. They weren't celebrating. They weren't congratulating. They were heartbroken for her. One girl said, "She's dangerously in love. This ain't a baby. This is a sentence." Another, "He embarrassed her on jail calls. Why would she think a baby fixes disrespect?" Someone else added, "She riding for a man who don't even drive for her?" And the harshest one, but the one fans kept repeating, "She's only staying because she doesn't know how to leave." Because here's the thing, Mariah's whole personality, her whole art, her whole emotional compass, it's rooted in loyalty. The kind of loyalty that makes people stay through storms long after the roof caved in. And Thug, let's be honest, he is who he is. Talented, absolutely. Iconic, no question. Stable, sane, emotionally available, let's not lie to ourselves. He's got 6 kids already, multiple baby mamas, a RICO trial hanging over his head, leaked recordings, history of infidelity, and situations that follow chaos like a shadow. But Mariah has always been the fixer. The I can love him into being better girl. The I can handle this girl. And that mindset, it's dangerous. Because having a baby doesn't transform a man into a partner. It transforms a woman into a committed caregiver, whether the man matches that energy or not. And the internet knows this. That's why the fan reactions got even more brutal after the pregnancy clip went viral. She let loyalty turn her into a 7th baby mama. Lord help her. He trapped her because she was already embarrassed. Now she'll never leave. Mariah, I know damn well you didn't let that man put you in this position. A genius in the studio, an idiot in love, but it wasn't all roasting. Some people genuinely spoke from pain. They recognized the pattern, the cycle, the emotional blindness that happens when you think your love can compensate for someone else's instability. One creator said, "This is emotional trauma bonding. When you love someone who hurts you, you cling harder trying to fix it. You think stability is next chapter, but it's really repeat cycle." And you could tell that message hit home with thousands of women watching, because we've all seen it. The girl who stays through cheating, the girl who forgives disrespect, the girl who thinks she can heal someone who never healed themselves, the girl who confuses intensity for destiny. Mariah isn't stupid. She's emotional, she's loyal, she's romantic, she's attached. She fell in love with a version of young Thug that only existed in her imagination, not in the real world. And fans know it. They see the heartbreak coming like a train a mile away, and she's just standing on the tracks. People even referenced Beyoncé's Dangerously in Love era, that young, naive, fully devoted kind of love that consumes everything else in your life, except Beyoncé awakened from it. She grew, she evolved, she learned boundaries. Mariah, she's still in the flames, and this pregnancy rumor, real or not, feels like the ultimate confirmation she's not walking away anytime soon. It also raises a darker question that fans whispered about. Is she having this baby because she loves him? Or because she's afraid if she doesn't, he'll finally leave? Because that happens more often than people admit. And that's what makes this entire situation tragic in a soft, quiet way. The girl everyone thought was destined for softness, healing, creative expansion, is tying her life to a man who couldn't even defend her on a jail call. And fans know, they just know, the music she makes after this, it's going to be heartbreaking as hell. But her life, that might be even harder. The kind of hard where she finally learns the lesson she should have learned a year ago. The kind where the baby becomes the anchor and the heartbreak becomes the blueprint. Because right now, she's not thinking long term. She's thinking love. She's thinking loyalty. She's thinking, we've been through so much, maybe this brings us closer. Meanwhile, everyone else is thinking, this is about to get real messy real fast. And the worst part, nobody can save her. Not fans, not friends, and not family, not comments, and not reality. She'll only leave when the pain outweighs the love, and not a second before. So now the world is watching, waiting for the next chapter. Will he step up? Will he cheat again? Will he disappear emotionally? Will she crumble under the pressure? Will they pretend this is happily ever after? Or will this be the heartbreak album of the decade? Either way, the story just got a whole lot messier, and the streets know it.